Hey everyone, it's Fanatic Frolfer. I'm going to do a quick in the bag for the late 2024 season. So starting out, let's do some putters. My putting putters, I put with some stock Lunas. Been serving me well this year. I'll probably use this same pair starting next year, but then eventually I'll swap it out with a new fresh pair. But yeah, it's a nice fun matching pair. A little bit of, I don't even know what type of blue to call this. I'm blanking on that, but they're blues, so they're nice. All right. I got some more Lunas for throwing off the tee and for upshots. Got this ESP dyed pack one. I did a dye on this. I kind of messed up on the dye, but it's a nice flyer. So this is the one I typically use. Flies very straight, especially for a Luna. Can throw this thing on a lot of different lines. But yeah, hoping to ace with this guy one day. That'd be a lot of fun. And then of course I got a Big Z Luna. I feel like for the past 4 years, I've always had some sort of Big Z Luna in the bag. I don't use this one as much, so it's a little bit more stable, not as beat in. But yeah, great flyer. And then, gotta have some zones, right? First, I got this ESP Tour Series Misprint zone. And this thing is very puddle top, so it feels fantastic for the forehand grip. I'll throw this thing on backhand as well. Been using this guy a ton, so it's beat in really well, flies really straight for a zone, but still has a very dependable finish. It's been a workhorse in the bag. Then I've got this Z zone, and for a zone, this has a good amount of dome to it, and this zone is very stable, and since it's in the Z plastic, it gets a lot of skip, so this is very nice if I need something to skip at the end, or if it's really windy, I know I can trust on this one. So yeah, those are my putt and approach. Let's move on to the mid ranges. My most understable mid, got a Z Comet. I've had this one for a while. It's beaten, but it's such a great flyer. I can throw this thing soft and it'll ride really straight. I can throw it on a turnover line. Really good, especially in the woods. That's where I mainly use it. Yeah, always good to have a Comet in the bag. Next, moving up a slot. Got two Buzz SS's, this Z Fly Die. I got this one in Colorado, and this thing has been money. It has a little bit more turn, but it never overturns or wants to just crash and burn. Just a very, very fun disc to throw. I can throw hyzer flips with it as well. This thing can go very far too if I have the right hole to do it on. But yeah, this is the main Buzz SS that I throw. Then I got an ESP Tour Series Swirl Buzz SS. This thing is also money. Since I don't use it as much, it doesn't have as much turn, but it still flies very well. Just maybe a touch more stable than the other Buzz SS. Next, probably my staple mold for a lot of people. I've got three Buzzes. First, this ESP Tour Series Buzz. This has been my workhorse this year. It's beaten in a little bit, but still has that nice, dependable straight flight. So this one I can get I can throw some hyzer flips with this one. Has a little bit of turn, but still just a fantastic flyer. Very fantastic Buzz. Next up, just a staple stock ESP Buzz. This one is, as much as I can describe it to you, if you picked up a Buzz at a store today, it'd fly like this one. Very dependable. Any angle I put it on, it will hold that angle. So slight anhyzer lines. I try to throw this one as flat as possible, so it'll just hold that line forever. Yeah, that's the next step up for me. Then last Buzz, got a Z Buzz. This one's a little bit more stable, and since it's in the Z plastic, has a little bit more of a skip, more of a finish to it. So I don't use this one as much, but maybe in slightly windier conditions, I'm more comfortable with this guy. Last mid-range, just a nice Buzz OS. Buzz OS I thought would be a lot more stable, but this flies really nice. I can compare the beginning of the flight to a normal stock Buzz, but it won't fly as far, has a bit more fade to it, a stronger finish. So this has been very nice as well. Again, usually I don't have to use this one, but it's nice to have. And I aced with this disc last year at Plymouth Creek, I think hole 13. So it's fun to have an ace disc in the bag. Next, moving on to the fairway drivers. One of Discraft's newer molds and redone plastics, a titanium Cicada. I've been messing around with this one. To me, it kind of flies like a Buzz SS, but as a fairway driver. So still learning how to use this, but it's been fun to been fun to have this fairway a more stable fairway, but it doesn't dump over. It'll still come out of it at the end. So yeah, been messing around with it. Fills a spot in the bag that I need. Next, I got two Passions, my staple fairway driver. Can throw some nice flip up lines with this. Throw them nice and flat, get a little bit of turn, but very dependable, very straight. Got this ESP foundation stamped one. I've got a backup to this, which I love. This one gets a little bit more turn, maybe a little bit more beat in. Very dependable. I usually, actually, I throw both of these equally, actually. Yeah, got this Passion, got this Z Passion. I wiped the stamp and then did my own dye on it. So with this design, it's kind of inspired by Simon's FD, but now Gannon's FD, but just some different colors. Looks really cool when throwing it in the Z plastic. This gets a little bit more skip. This is a touch more maybe stable than that other Passion, but I throw these both very much equally. So yeah, that is the Passions. Last fairway driver, got a Big Z Athena. So just a step up in stability. Still can throw some very controllable lines with this if I want. I can throw some Anheuser lines, but it'll come out of it. Some nice flat lines, some Heiser lines. Very fun addition to Discraft's fairway and to my bag as well. Fills a nice spot. Next, moving up to the drivers. Got some utility ones. I got a Z Flex Machete. For the longest time I had a Z Orange Machete. And that thing, I'd actually thrown it so much that I didn't have as much overstability as I wanted. So one of my good friends, Matt, bought me this for my birthday last year. So it's fun Z Flex plastic, very overstable. There's some spike Heisers with this, very windy conditions, or need something to get some crazy skip, going with this guy. Now in the other opposite direction, I have the Avenger SS. So very understable, lots of turn. Throw some Heiser flip to Annie lines with this. Throw this flat, gets a lot of turn. What I love about this disc too is that it hardly has any fade. So I can throw some really fun lines with this if I'm in some tricky spots. Also rollers, I don't usually throw rollers, but this is usually what I would try to do for a roller. All right, some more drivers. We got an ESP Vulture. I've had this one a while. It's beat up, but it still flies money. Can throw some nice flip up lines with this. That's some nice Heiser lines, very controllable. Vulture is a very underrated disc in my opinion. Then I got an ESP Raptor. I started with this 4 years ago and then took it out, but I put it back in because I lost my other Vulture. That was a little bit more stable, so I decided I'll just throw in my Beaten Raptor. It's been nice. It's very dependable, very great driver to have. Distance drivers. I've been rocking this Thrasher for a while. It's more stable for a Thrasher. What's fun for me now, this really taught me how to throw distance drivers. But with this disc now, I can throw it on, I'm trying to think of the right, not power grip, just a more standard stock grip for me. So I can throw this disc not on a power grip and throw really controllable lines, flip up, rides forever. If I throw this in with power grip, it usually gets some more turn out of it. But this disc has been money, especially in the woods. If I need a really straight shot with the driver, going with this. Next disc, the Captain's Thrasher. This disc really surprised me. You can put this disc on any line and it'll really hold that line. Has a little bit more stability, of course, than the normal Thrasher. But I've been loving this. I can throw some nice flat lines with this, some Heiser lines that push but just ride straight. Very dependable disc. Looking forward to getting some more of these and testing them out. Probably my most used drivers, the Zeuses. I have two Zeuses. Got this ESP stock one. This one has a lot of turn. I've beat this one up quite a bit, but still very dependable finish. So this is my go-to. Can throw some nice Heiser flip-up shots that push straight, some flat lines where it gets a lot of turn, nice S shape. Yeah, this disc bombs. Then I've got this Misprint ESP Zeus. A little bit more stable compared to the other Zeus. So that's nice to have if I need something to finish out more or fight some more wind. Nice to have a backup for the Zeuses as well. Lastly, I got two Forces. Got this ESP Misprint Force. For a Force, this has a little bit of turn. I've beat it up a little bit, but so dependable. This disc really taught me how to throw flat with a distance driver. It will really hold that line and then come out of it. Just a very dependable force. And then I've got this Z Force. This thing is very overstable. So great with really windy conditions, if I need something to skip and flare. So I usually don't use this, but it's great to have in the bag. All right, that is it. Looking forward to showing you guys another in the bag at some point. But yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time.